The sea has always been a place of wonder and fear. Sailors once believed that beneath its waves lurked monsters large enough to swallow ships whole, or whirlpools that could drag entire fleets to the bottom of the ocean. But even in our modern age, when satellites map every corner of the Earth and technology can track ships and planes in real time, there is one place on the map that still resists explanation: the Bermuda Triangle. This stretch of ocean, roughly marked by the points of Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, has become infamous as the graveyard of ships and aircraft, a place where compasses spin, radios go silent, and vessels vanish without a trace. But what makes this patch of the Atlantic so different? The story begins long before modern times. In 1492, Christopher Columbus recorded strange phenomena as he sailed through the area. His compass, he wrote, behaved erratically. The sky lit with strange lights, dancing flames that shimmered in the distance. Columbus noted these anomalies in his journal, unsure whether they were natural occurrences or omens of something more sinister. Was this the first documented account of the Bermuda Triangle's mysteries?
Centuries later, as naval exploration expanded, reports continued. Ships sailed into calm waters, only to vanish without sending a single distress signal. Among the most famous cases was the disappearance of the USS Cyclops in 1918. This massive U.S. Navy ship, carrying more than 300 men and thousands of tons of cargo, simply disappeared while crossing the triangle. No wreckage, no survivors, nothing was ever found. To this day, it remains the largest non-combat loss of life in U.S. naval history. But perhaps the case that cemented the Bermuda Triangle's reputation occurred on December 5, 1945. Flight 19, a squadron of 5 U.S. Navy Avenger torpedo bombers, took off from Fort Lauderdale for a routine training mission. Experienced pilots, clear weather, and a simple triangular flight plan, nothing unusual. Yet within hours, something went terribly wrong. Radio communications grew confused. The leader of the squadron reported that his compass wasn't working, that the sea looked strange, and he could no longer tell which way was west. Panic spread among the crews. Then, silence. All 5 planes vanished. And in a cruel twist, the rescue plane sent to search for them also disappeared, along with its crew of 13. 6 aircraft and 27 men, gone, without a trace. No wreckage was ever recovered. Was this a tragic navigational error, or evidence of something far stranger?
As these stories spread, the Bermuda Triangle became a cultural phenomenon. Newspapers called it the Devil's Triangle. Books and magazines described it as a cursed zone, a place where time and space themselves unraveled. Some even suggested alien abductions or portals to other dimensions. But let us step back for a moment. What does science say about this patch of ocean? Is it really cursed, or is there a more rational explanation? First, consider geography. The Bermuda Triangle lies in one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. Thousands of ships and planes pass through it every year. Statistically, more accidents will occur in a heavily traveled area simply because of the sheer number of voyages. Second, the weather. The Atlantic Ocean in this region is notorious for sudden storms, strong currents, and powerful hurricanes. A ship caught in such conditions could easily sink without leaving much evidence. Planes, too, can be overwhelmed by violent weather that forms quickly and without warning. Third, magnetic anomalies. Scientists have noted that the Bermuda Triangle is one of the few places on Earth where magnetic north and true north align, which can cause compass confusion. For early navigators, such a deviation could have led to disastrous miscalculations.
And then there's methane gas. Geologists suggest that large deposits of methane hydrates lie beneath the ocean floor in this region.
If these gases were suddenly released, they could drastically reduce the density of water, causing ships to sink almost instantly. For aircraft, methane could rise into the atmosphere and stall engines. These are scientific theories, plausible and supported by research. Yet they do not explain everything. Why, for example, has so little wreckage ever been found from some of the most famous disappearances? Why did experienced pilots like those of Flight 19 fail to recognize simple landmarks like the Florida coast? And why do so many reports describe strange lights, malfunctioning instruments, or even sensations of disorientation? Skeptics argue that the Bermuda Triangle is no more dangerous than any other oceanic region, and that its reputation has been exaggerated by sensationalism. They point out that the U.S. Board of Geographic Names does not officially recognize the Bermuda Triangle, and the U.S. Navy does not consider it a unique hazard. To them, it is simply a myth, fueled by human imagination and media hype. But myths often grow from kernels of truth. The unexplained loss of ships like the Cyclops, the vanishing of Flight 19, and countless other cases remain unsolved. For families who lost loved ones, for sailors and pilots who whispered warnings, the mystery is all too real.
There's also the psychological factor. Humans are storytellers. When a ship disappears in the Pacific, it may be chalked up to bad weather, but when it vanishes in the Bermuda Triangle, the legend grows. Each disappearance feeds the myth, and the myth, in turn, shapes our perception of reality. Even so, new reports continue to emerge. As recently as the 21st century, yachts and small aircraft have vanished within the triangle's boundaries. Technology has advanced, but the ocean still keeps its secrets. Perhaps that is the true allure of the Bermuda Triangle. In an age when the world feels mapped, measured, and explained, here is a place that resists certainty, a reminder that nature still holds mysteries beyond our understanding. So, what is the Bermuda Triangle? A deadly anomaly of science? A statistical illusion? A myth kept alive by our thirst for wonder? Or something else entirely, something we cannot yet comprehend? The ocean does not answer. It only watches, vast and silent, as ships cut across its surface and aircraft roar above. For most, the journey is safe. But for a few, the Bermuda Triangle remains the place where voyages end, where compasses fail, where mysteries endure. And maybe, just maybe, that's what draws us back to it. Not the fear, but the fascination. Because as long as the Bermuda Triangle exists, it reminds us that the world is still bigger, stranger, and more mysterious than we dare imagine.